Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome to this this rare occurrence of a live video of Taskmaster for Ultimate, well, let's go with Abnormal Dreadnoughts, because that's what they tend to be. Abnormal Dreadnoughts, weird designs, and shit that is particularly weird on Tuesdays, when I try to take on various of the other content creators. You can find them linked down below. I haven't quite gotten all the links yet, so I'll post those as soon as possible. The mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to be operating as the United Kingdom. So let's set it up. United Kingdom, 1935, and the starting range is 20,000 meters. Our opponent will be Spain, and the Spanish Empire gets tech from 1935. We get one battlecruiser. That's the deal. We get one battlecruiser. The twist... There is some betting involved, as BrotherMunro writes it. The way to win is by killing cruisers. We get 2 points for a heavy cruiser and 1 point for a light cruiser. We get a bonus 2 points for killing all the ships that we go up against. Now, here's the deal. We can go up against as many ships, as many cruisers to the enemy fleet as we like. However, if our ship is sunk, 0 points. The theoretical maximum is 200 points. If you somehow sunk 99 heavy cruisers. We are allowed to disengage if we bite off more than we can chew. A successful disengage is if your ship is out of range of all enemies. That's the deal, that's the mission, and it gives me a bit of flexibility. It means that I can decide how many enemies I want to be fighting at any given time. I believe there's no requirement for a hull. Yeah, you must use the large cruiser hull. Okay, so there is a requirement. Let's see. How many ships do I want to be fighting? What do I think is a reasonable number that I can still make work? I get 2 points for a heavy cruiser, 1 point for a light cruiser. From what I can tell from the description, there is no real issuance of orders that says that I have to be fighting light cruisers. So I have a bit of leeway there. And that means that I could chance it and go up against 100 light cruisers. See if I can get 100 points that way. Oh, I need to have 1940s tech, not no, actually 1935. 1935 even, yeah. Going up against the heavy cruisers is going to be trickier, but well, it depends on what the AI generates. Sometimes it throws out this really cheap heavy cruiser with only a few 6-inch guns. Sometimes it goes all the way up to, I think, 11-inch guns is the heaviest for a light cruiser, heavy cruiser. So that's, well, it can very easily sway either way. How about 10 heavy cruisers and a ton of light cruisers? This, if I sink all of it, is 50 points for the light cruisers and 20 points for the heavy cruisers, is a total of 70 points. I think something like that could work. It's a lot to chew off for a battle cruiser, but I can put large guns on that ship. Let's see if I can get anywhere with this thing. Alright, the large cruiser hull only. Max displacement, none range, all the bulkheads. Yeah, geared turbines is generally best. Oil for, well, maybe induced boilers, aux 2, shafts, croup, barbette armor. I probably won't need a hell of a lot of barbette armor because the enemy is not going to have a whole lot of firepower. They might have torpedoes though. And if there's anything that can wreck a battle cruiser's day, it's going to be torpedoes. And they generally don't need a lot of time to do it either. Let's go with super heavy auto-loading shells. Will that crash the game? It might. It might, I don't know. Usually I don't get a crash on this game. It's been... I don't know, has it ever happened to me? I don't think so. I can't quite recall an instance where I had the game crash on me. It's probably happened at some point, but I don't quite recall it. Now, we're going to get potentially 18-inch guns, but these are Mark III. For some reason, there's still the 17 inches, which are Mark II. Mark IV, 13-inch guns. That means that at a range of about 15,000 meters, which is kind of where I want to be, I can penetrate 18 inches of belt armor. That is sufficient to cause a massive amount of damage. So let's put 2 turrets down and then 1 on a barbette. This is going to be a Nelson-esque battlecruiser. And in order to keep those things sinking, we're going to have to go with a lot of ammo. Unfortunately, this also causes a ton of 4-weight offset. If I go for a more traditional design, I would have another turret on a barbette over there. 4-weight offset is still 25%? Really? That seems really heavy. 5%, that's better. I can shift this thing back, cancelling out the weight problem. Like that. Shift this thing slightly further forward. Better firing angles as well. Now, I haven't changed my speed yet. What I'm thinking of doing is reducing that and making sure that I have a bit of room for torpedo launchers. Especially if I make them sneaky and small. So electrics. No. I tried electrics in the previous video. It didn't quite work out for me. But that was because I couldn't quite get into range. If I do it like this, I'm gonna have, what is that, 2 reloads per? Yeah, 10 torpedoes. I would rather want these things to be able to turn this time around. And I want an increased complement of that. No, it's too heavy. Standard complement, 23 inch. Too heavy. 22 inch, fine. As for the armor, not much is happening on that front because I am not expecting to take a lot of damage. The biggest problem that I foresee is running out of firepower, running out of shells. Let's go with a bit more, no, not with a bit more belt, a bit more conning tower. I gotta keep that thing operational. Otherwise, I have no accuracy. Right, well that should be it. The ship is adequately called Devastation. So let's see if she's actually going to live up to that name and cause some devastation. Engine efficiency is good. Yep, here we go. So, 1 versus many. 1 versus very, very many. Let's see if this thing can perform well enough. 13-inch super heavy lyddite shells. Hello. Yeah, that's a lot of ships. Hold your fire. Nope. High explosive. Hold your fire. Range to the enemy. 14 clicks. I want to get closer. I do not want to waste any shells. Because we have done something like this before. The Coast Guard's here, boys. The Coast Guard's here. The AI, in its infinite wisdom, has once again generated a light cruiser with 1 triple 4-inch gun and 3 triple dual or 2-inch guns. That is unexpected. That is unexpected. Okay, what about their heavy cruiser? That's more respectable of a ship. 8-inch guns, 8 of them. And torpedo launchers. Now, interestingly, it's not the first time that Spain has sent the Coast Guard out against me. And I believe that in the previous iteration, the previous time that they did that, it was also on Taskmaster. So I'm not sure what sort of weird, I don't know, Spanish bug I have, but this is really unusual. Why are the Spanish sending out light cruisers which have exactly 1 triple 4-inch? What are you going to do with all that deck space? Are you going to... I don't know. You're not quite going to park helos on there. Let's say it is in fact the Coast Guard. Maybe these are actual lifeboats that they're trying to use to save refugees. Or is that a bit too dark? Now, let's send our torpedoes in that general direction and see if they hit anything, because there is no shortage of targets. Plenty to kill. The thing is, they're not terribly sneaky, but with that many ships around, you're pretty much guaranteed to hit anything. Well, something. Is that a heavy? No, it's a light cruiser. Sorry, it's a Coast Guard cutter. Alright, at this point, range is 9 kilometers. Fire when ready. Chance to hit, 6%. Coast Guard's lucky today. I hope I can tank 4-inch guns. I hope I can tank 4-inch. The only real threat that they have is the 10 heavy cruisers. And the 10 heavy cruisers could, if they really wanted to, torpedo me into oblivion. So my hope is that my sonar equipment is going to detect that, because I have a hefty turning circle. Let's see when they spot this. These torpedoes. 3 kilometers, currently. They haven't seen them yet. Two 5. Still no response from the light cruiser. Coast Guard does not have sonar. There. The Isla de Luzon has now detected the torpedoes. Minimum bulkheads 2. See, what I don't get, how do you spend 20 million on a ship like that? What sort of high-end tech do they have? Here, sonar 3, RDF, generation 2 radar, 22-inch torpedoes, which you don't use, electro-hydraulic turrets, a high-end citadel, auxiliary 4 engine, anti-torpedo, no, that doesn't exist on a light cruiser, citadel 4, anti-flood 2. Why? Why? This thing is like a Suzuki Swift with all sorts of Tesla tech on board. That's what it sort of reminds me of. It's... I don't know, it's trying to be something entirely different than what it actually is. Chance to pen me? 3%. I can probably survive that. And sure, this thing is going to get hit a lot, but it'll live. This is the point where I think I should have brought secondaries. And the ship has all the deck space for a basketball game. Yeah, but not the clearance for it. Wow, partial pen? From the heavy cruisers, huh? Good God, are my torpedo launchers ready? Because I would have torped that. Accuracy is still terrible. We're going to have to push in even more. Which is something that never got me into trouble before. It never killed me when I tried to do that. So it's perfectly safe. Cease fire. Structural integrity down to 98%. Now, we still had a wave of torpedoes heading to that section. But the amount of ships over there has been slightly decreased. So if I try and torpedo this whole hornet's nest, I might be able to inflict some more harm. Really? There? Okay. Right. Target range 3.2 kilometers. Enable. I should have brought secondaries. This is a line that BrotherMunro would never say in his whole career of UAD. Really? Doesn't like secondaries? The Isla de Luzon has once again detected the torpedoes, but it... Ah, we hit something. It remains to be seen if they're actually going to do anything about it. Detecting things is one, but then you need to get out of the way. And that is their heavy cruiser, which has maximum bulkheads and 22-inch torpedoes, which are fast and hence not stealthy. Now, can we kindly blow this thing to bits? I know it's only 13-inch, but even 13-inch high explosive lyddite should be able to do something. Now, let me write down what I have. CLs and CAs. You... what? You missed everything? Okay. Underwhelming. Oh, you love your secondaries, brother. I didn't know that. Now, here is the other torpedo salvo. Still traveling. They're pretty slow. 48 knots. Can you just... Thank you. It's more like it. That was 4 hits out of 1 salvo. Now the thing is almost instantly fully flooded. 23% flooding. Or buoyancy. 10%, 5%. 2%. Dead. So, that's the first point. First of many, if I can have anything to say about it. I get that the AI is getting a bit overwhelmed with the formation system here. I'm going to run this thing on a permanent ×3 because this is going to be one of those battles that's going to take up to an hour or something. Oh, fuck. I'm ramming the light cruiser. Well, that's a great way to wreck my own ship. That took about 30% off of my structural integrity. And wrecked my rudder. Okay, so that's another light cruiser down. And another that I think got torpedoed. Yep. Valiente. Rudder fixed. Now to deal with flooding. If I did a 4-hour live stream of non-patron Ultimate Dreadnoughts, would it help? Yes, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm not going to be covering any non-Patreon UAD scenarios at the moment. There we go. COC looks to be flooding. And is down. Next. There you go, even hitting him in the smokescreen. So that's 4 light cruisers eliminated. 5 light cruisers eliminated. Accuracy is slightly lower than I would like. Is the Jorge Juan outside of the smokescreen or not? Nope, but that doesn't save it. Jorge Juan. Come on, buddy. The whole bow is flooded. Oh, there goes the rest of it. Come on. Stern flooded. You're done. Next. 6 points so far. Brother, do you want to share how many points you got? Mr. Munro. I wonder how many points you got on this one. Because then I know whether this is going to be worth it or not. Come on, get him. There you are. 2 incidents of flooding. It sounds like stuff is getting hit by torpedoes, but I'm not getting a registration of a torpedo hit. It's not logging it. There goes the Elcano. I'm so happy that these things don't come with torpedoes. That would have been a far more dangerous encounter. You went for 42 and you got 0? What? What happened there? Did you get some sort of high-end cruisers instead of the Spanish Coast Guard? What happened to you? Alerta is down. Hernan Cortez, currently 8 points. Let's try not to run into any more sinking cruisers. Torping each other. That's a fair point. But I don't think so, because the only torpedo hits that I'm seeing here are mine. Get rid of the Cortez and torpedo the guys over there. One more feature that I would really like to see in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts is a way that you can manually set where you want to launch your torpedoes. Like, I want to have a spread from there to there, and I don't really want to hit that particular target, for example, but just fan fire. Just make sure you spread out as much as possible. You got a flash fire and a turret flying. Oh. So the full HUD experience then, huh? Hate it when that happens. Now, so far I've really only scored 9 points. I've expended about 300 shells, I think. So, for my trouble, it's... give or take, it's 30 shells per ship. I could maybe be even more economical about it if I don't give them another salvo if they're already flooding, like the Castilla. Maybe she didn't need that other salvo there. 10 ships down. Missed. What happens if I fire armor piercing? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, see? Overpens. Serious overpens. Not what I'm looking for. Oh, this is just one big merging of light cruisers here. The Gerona, Pizarro, and Isabella la Católica. No, Católica. Emphasis on the O. Would make more sense. Colon sinks. Friendly running with a torpedo. Oh, I'm flooding. That's not part of the deal. My structural integrity is getting reduced. I might need to, at some point, call it a day and just disengage. But I really hate the thought of that. Oh, fuck me, there's torpedoes. That's the heavy cruisers. Oh, that's problematic. Uh-oh. Yeah, this would be the time to disengage at 10 knots. It's another light cruiser down, 12 points. The other guys are definitely going to win this. Absolutely. Because this ship is not capable of disengaging. No, it's definitely not capable of disengaging like that. Well, rip to the devastation. It didn't work. Well, it did. It did work. But the problem is, I didn't see the torpedo, and that flash fire was unscheduled. It's not something I was actually planning for. So that means 0 points for my endeavor, because I lost my ship. Now be sure to check out the other guys, linked down below in the description. I believe Serious Strategy Gamer is doing it live as well, so he might still be live by the time that you're seeing this. So please check them out, and well, let's see what they can come up with. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the live version of this, and I shall see you for another Taskmaster next week. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.